Hello Capricorn. Great to have you here. My name is Shauna. Today's reading is a general love forecast. As always, take the messages that resonate and release anything that doesn't. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay connected with upcoming readings. Let's see what's headed your way, Capricorn. The Hermit card should come out, but I was thinking about, your intuition kicking in overdrive. And I feel that for a lot of you, you are highly intuitive. So, try to tap into that energy. But the other thing that I'm sensing is that, being an earth sign, I feel that there's hesitation when it comes to tapping into the spiritual aspect of you, or at least delving too much into, the metaphysical realm, mainly because on an innate level, I feel that a lot of you are just very practical, and you want tangible proof that there's something else out there, that there is something greater than us. I feel that a lot of you are open to that concept, but I feel that you need more proof in order to have a clearer understanding, or in order to trust it fully. So I feel like a little bit of an existential crisis coming through, not knowing, how to, I guess, like questioning what it is that you know, how it is that you arrive at certain conclusions. So I feel like, the intuition is kicking in overdrive, and you might have like very prophetic, vivid, and even lucid dreams. But I feel that for a lot of you, you're getting guidance, like spiritual guidance, to steer you in the right direction, but a lot of you are questioning it. So there's questions about faith, questions about, existence, beliefs, and all of these metaphysical, philosophical questions are being raised here. And I do feel that for a lot of you, it's almost as if your soul wants to go on a spiritual journey, and finding some type of a grounding force is going to be very important for you. And the other thing that I want to say, because you are showing up here in the reverse position, and this is basically a loss of grounding. This is a loss of your footing, feeling as if you're at the mercy of everything else around you. You're at the mercy of other people, and not feeling in control of your life. So I do feel a lot of good things are coming in for you, and you're just like being hit left and right by very amazing, splendid things. But as a result of it, you feel like, where's all this coming from? What did I do to deserve all of this? And even, what's my next step? How do I know what I'm doing is right? Well, when you're on the right track, when good things are coming to you in abundance, it usually is a good indication that you're on the right track. So just accept it and leave it at that, okay? The other thing that I am picking up very strongly is grounding, anchoring yourself is going to be very, very important for you, because I feel like your soul wants to explore. And for a lot of you, if you're kind of like stuck in one job and you feel there is stability in it, and you might want to just stay there and, and create like, work and climb the career ladder, the corporate ladder at that same job, I feel that very strongly there's another job coming in for you. And it seems to be that's where you're guided to go. So if you're feeling like you're in a rut, rest assured that it's time for you to move on to something else, okay? For a lot of you, because we have the Ace of Pentacles here, which is a tremendously beautiful card, and it indicates a gift of financial abundance coming in from God. And this is an opportunity. So this is an opportunity not only for a new career path, for a new employment situation, for a new revenue stream. It's also a new way of living. So think of this as a major drastic change in your life, but it's opening up a new avenue for you to walk through. Okay, so there's a new path as well associated with this. So being, the earth sign and very prone to risk aversion, I feel that a lot of you would rather stay where you are and not make this move, or at least you don't really know if you can trust it. But I do feel a lot of abundance is just coming through for you. So take that leap of faith, and just know that it's in alignment with your life path. You're being spiritually, divinely guided in order to pursue things in this direction. I feel that it is right up your alley. It is something that has a lot of potential if you decide to build on it. But I feel like instead of, grabbing the opportunities, I feel that a lot of you are not only slow on the uptake, but you're kind of sitting here ruminating. So a lot of you might be, in search of work, or you might have applied for many, many jobs, or you might have applied for even schools, or, just any situation where you've applied for multiples of something. And then one of the options comes through, and you're sitting here either is that you actually should take that first offer, because if you're like pressed for time, I feel that that first offer is going to be the most beneficial. So that's something to think about. If you're applying for school, or if you're applying for work or anything like that, I do feel that first offer that comes through usually is something that is meant to be, because it seems to me like it's got your name like written all over it. So that's just something, to keep in mind when you go through the whole selection stage. It's sort of like the employers, they read, your resume, or they read your personal statement or whatever, and they feel like, wow, this person is a good fit. So they send out that, offer letter right away. Whereas the other schools, they go through their applicants, and it seems as if they drag out the process. So it just leads me to believe that maybe because they're dragging out the process, that they didn't have you in mind. So the first choice seems like it's more the perfect fit. It means that they really want you. And when they really want you, your bargaining power is going to increase. So you can, barter with them when it comes to your starting salary. So it feels like it's a good deal all around. But either way, this is a really beautiful, beautiful month. I don't feel any challenges associated with this, except, you might be a little bit slow on the uptake. That's the only thing I'm sensing, because everything else is just tremendously great. I do feel, a lot of financial stability coming through, new jobs coming through. For a lot of you, it's just like you have so many options to choose from. And the only thing is, I feel like you might be scared about, choosing the wrong choice. But I feel that whatever resonates with you, if you're debating between different things, write out a list of pros and cons. And I feel silly saying this to an earth sign, because I feel like you already do that. But I do feel that if you consult other people, they might steer you down the wrong path. Okay, so that's the only danger I'm sensing here. This is a month about introspection, about self-reflection, and pretty much self-reliance. You kind of know what you want. You kind of know like what's your top choice. You kind of know what your options are. So it would be in your best interest to like withdraw inwards and figure out what you think is the best fit for you on a personal level, versus what people are telling you, that they think looks prestigious or looks, like a high-powered job. But it doesn't resonate. If it doesn't resonate with you on a personal level, you don't have to go with it. Just choose something that you know is a good fit for you, and only you know what is a good fit for you, based on how much you know yourself. But overall, I do feel that it would be best for you to leave other people out of the equation when you pick what is right for you. You can ask them for a second opinion for sure, but that initial first choice, I feel like it's the right one, okay? At the same time, I mean, everything just looks very, very amazing. There might be travels as well. So there might be opportunities for the Wheel of Fortune is usually just, your luck turning. And when I see this card, I feel as if there might be, for a lot of you, there might be opportunities for higher education, for travel, for expansion, for publishing. If you are, looking for any of those opportunities, you have a lot of proposals coming through, a lot of options to choose from. And I do feel all for the better, but I do feel that this is a very, very important month in which choices, decisions, and life plans, like game plans, have to be solidified. So this is an important hitter type of month where, the Wheel of Fortune is turning in your favor. You have options, and you need to be really fast on the uptake, because I feel like I feel like the element of time might not be working for you. So you want to grab these opportunities as soon as they come in. rather than, letting other people come and take your spot. Okay, so for example, if you're applying for school and they might tell you heed the deadline, so just, keep deadlines in mind, because I feel like the element of time. But either way, the Four of Cups are basically, it's a lot of options that you have at your disposal here, but I feel like, go with that gut reaction, the initial first choice, that gut instinct. You really should trust it. So I feel like, this whole thing about that, having that existential crisis where you're just like, how do I know this is the right one? And that whole sliding door moment will come in, where you feel like, if I take this option, there is opportunity cost about, that the other options disappearing for me. So how would my life be drastically different if I'd gone with that instead rather than this? So in the process, you're kind of like cycling through over and over and over again your different choices, and as a result, you might be kind of like inundated by indecisiveness and you're not acting. But the point here is, you really have to get going. And I felt like I was getting the same type of energies for Gemini, like mid-month last month. And, it's just important to get going here. Okay. By the end of the month, we do have the Death card. And I feel like it is greatly about opportunity cost, where if you choose one option, you're foregoing all the others. And that's what scares you. And, it is, it's a tough decision, but the point here is that you have a lot of abundance. So don't be afraid of making the wrong decision. Just think positively and, I guess, have faith that you're making the right one. Okay, so for a lot of you, there might be like research opportunities, because I do feel with the Hermit and also the Page of Swords, this is about communication. This is greatly, greatly about, some type of training program where you're a page and you're relying on this opportunity, this training opportunity, this additional schooling in order to graduate into the night. So I feel that there is greatly travel associated with it, expansion in your intelligence, in your mental capacity, in your philosophical outlook. So this proves to be one of those life changer types of month. All your wishes are basically coming true. I mean, we don't have the wish card, but with Ace of Pentacles and the Wheel of Fortune coming in the upright position underneath, very, very positive cards here, I do sense that no matter what, you are being protected here, okay? So there's no fear. There shouldn't be fear about opportunity costs, about, making the wrong choice. So the fear is indeed in your head. So just, try to get yourself out of it. Come out of the place of inaction, okay? For those of you who are, dating and things like that, I do feel that for those of you who are dating like another earth sign, I do sense that there is an element here of potentially some type of travel associated with either you or the other person, where there might be work opportunities, but there's travel associated with it. So you're not sure the progression of the relationship moving forward. And the earth signs are, Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus, okay? So there might be that lingering attachment here, and there might be new work situations or even travel opportunities, and you're not really sure how the relationship will progress in the future, if you choose to continue the relationship or not. I also feel as well that for a lot of you, this is greatly a month about, not crying over spilled milk. Okay, I know that, in life there are always things that tugs at our heartstrings, and there are things that we are emotionally invested in more than others. It's just the way life works, and this can be with people, this can be with projects. And I feel like a lot of you are ruminating on the past, and you're looking at things that didn't work out in your interest, like foregone opportunities that for some reason are no longer available to you. So because these things are kind of out of the picture, you're thinking about what ifs and, like, what could have been. And that energy is, by focusing on that energy, it is depriving you of the energy, the time that you could be focusing on things that actually work out, okay? So I do feel a lot of stability are coming through. And I do feel as well that focusing yourself in the right direction, moving yourself forward, rather than looking back, look ahead, because the past really can't be gone back to. Okay, you have some major hitters here. This is pretty much like, the end of the line and what's next kind of energy. So it's really in your best interest overall to not be so fixated on these three things that didn't work out, and then choose among these two options. Think of it as just, the universe's way of narrowing down these choices for you, because it seems like you're a little bit scared about making the commitment, okay? So all is well in the land of Capricorns. I do feel as well, for those of you who are dating overall, you have some air signs. For some reason, they're popping up everywhere, but we are also transitioning into the time of Aquarius. So I feel that, Aquarius are getting busy too. So that's why I would explain the air signs. So air signs are Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. And I do feel that for those of you who are dating, there's definitely some very, very positive air signs coming through for you. And they have a really nice, vibrant, intellectual vibe about them. So this can be meeting them through a classroom setting. It can be in a work situation. They're very, very loyal, I feel. They're showing up in really good positions where they can teach you a lot, okay? And this can be, I feel like they have expertise, even though they're not like, they don't have the credentials to back it up, but I feel that they have like a lot of good insights, and they can help you when it comes to whatever it is that you need help with, or they can, even work to improve your communication skills. They can work to, for example, if you're doing like mock interviews, if you're doing, any type of a defense, they can be the one to grill you, in like a moot court setting, for example, and they will do a phenomenal job. So if you want a study group or a study buddy or anything like that, get an air sign on your team. Also, earth signs too. They're very diligent, but I feel like air signs, they bring with them a lot of insights that you hadn't thought about before. And I do feel in terms of companionship and things like that, there's a lot of excitement generated in this union. So it looks very favorable to me. And this is very, very, this is not going to speak to all, but I feel like for a lot of you, there is something coming back from your past, okay? And it's being blocked out. You're being protected from it. And I feel like it's a confrontational energy. Not in a bad way, but I do feel some unresolved business could potentially deal with a love relationship. Yeah, something that was unresolved in your past, something that, didn't have very much closure, is being, someone from your past, I feel, is like, or this can be also your energy, but I feel like it might be somebody from your past, because you rarely leave things unfinished. But somebody from your past, and it doesn't have to be necessarily an air sign, but I feel like a confrontational energy is coming back in from the past. And he or she is being blocked out, so you are protected, okay? Don't waste your time this month entertaining what could have been with people, with projects, with opportunities. Don't waste your time doing that, because I feel that timing is a major, major constraint for you already. You're not operating at your best. You have a lot of distractions, I feel. And you don't, the last thing that you would need is this, situation that didn't pan out to come back around and to occupy your mind and your thoughts. Okay, so it's just something to think about. I can say as well, for a lot of you, there was a partnership in the past, and I feel that you might like the other person, and they might be, all great and everything. There's like inherently the relationship is stable, but I feel that you might be on different paths. Okay, and when you're on different paths with someone, you can pretty much tell when you interact with them, the things that you value, or the things that really, really moves you. They don't really, it doesn't move them the same way. And I feel like for a lot of people, you pretty much know if somebody's on your same wavelength, okay? You pretty much know if things are going to work. So I feel like whoever it is that you are or were in a relationship with, if this suspicion is coming out where you feel like we actually don't have that much in common, or there's something off. There's something off about the relationship. It is really important to re-examine what exactly is off, okay? They can be amazing people, and you work together and you are attracted to them, but on an innate level, if there's no chemistry, if there's no like common paths that you both can walk towards, if there's no like common philosophical like just ways of living, ways of understanding where you fit in the greater scheme of things, I feel that the relationships that you have might be going through this sort of existential crisis, because there's nothing inherently wrong with the other person. The relationship might be very well, it could be going smoothly, but you just realize that you're not walking on the same path. That's like the best way that I can put it, because I feel like on an intuitive level, we know who's right for us. So there might be some severance that needs to happen. There might be some sort of reshuffling your life that needs to happen. But I feel like time is a huge constraint. So you want to be very, very productive and methodical. And I feel like you're just kind of slow to act. You're dragging your foot. I feel like for a lot of you, you're kind of dragging your foot, hoping that, time will pass and then some choices will dwindle themselves out. So it's not like you're waiting on anything. You're just dragging your foot because you are avoiding making this really major, major, major decision, because you know that your life will be forever changed as a result, and you don't want to own up to that fact, okay? But the spread is so overwhelmingly positive. I feel like nothing will go wrong, Capricorns. Just try your best to get, to break out of this snooze zone, because life is ticking and you don't really have that much time left. So you want to just really get going, okay? It worries me when you show up in the reverse position as a king. Kings are very strategic. They know what they need to do. When it's in the reverse position, opportunities are slipping you by when you're not acting. So just be very careful about that. For those of you who are in stable relationships, I would say too that you need to revamp some the relationship. I feel that there is a little bit of a discontentment and boredom. There's some type of discontentment here, as well as boredom. This is about, admiring the greener grass in the other pastures. This is about, having the wandering eyes, and it could play out as you or your partner, or wanting something more, wanting something that stirs you on a very deep soul emotional level. So you're kind of looking out there and figuring out, like, what is it that really moves me? I don't feel like I have anything in my life that really moves me. Well, you have the financial stability, so finances looks very stable. You have a lot of options on the dating front. So there's like, plenty of people that want to be around you. You're quite successful. Things are all coming your way. So everything is like very easy breezy this month. But I feel like this innate sense of dissatisfaction when you're just like, is there more to life? So that's why I feel like this existential crisis. For those of you who are kind of like reaching the end of your 20s, and you're kind of like thinking to yourself, I'm associating this with like the 20s, where you're kind of like 29 and you're turning 30, or you just turned 30, and you're just like comparing yourself with your peers, and you're thinking to yourself like, they've accomplished so much with their life. What am I doing? I need to get started. And then you feel discouraged as a result of it. And then for those of you who are in your 50s with the midlife crisis, I feel like it's the same energy, but then it's more about repairing relationships. So for those of you in your 20s, you're kind of like, I need to like, be really, really highly productive with my time. And I really need to, get the ball rolling on these projects so that I can establish myself financially, and then I can, have something to I guess brag about. Not because you're a braggart, but I do feel you want something to show for it. You want something of value, because you feel highly productive if you have something under your belt that is of great value. And then we go on to the next group where, you might be in your 50s and you're going through dilemmas where you feel like, I should have, repaired those relationships, or I should have reached out to these people. So you're thinking about missed opportunities that you, through your 20s and 30s, because you were out pursuing wealth and prestige. Okay, so I feel that for those of you who are in your late 20s, you have a lot to learn here. So this is a card about, placing a lot of importance on relationships. And this is a card about achievement. So at the end of our lives, it's not the achievements, it's mainly the relationships, it's mainly being true to ourselves, it's mainly about, how we, um, it's mainly about cultivating, I feel like, relationships, making the world a better place, and having meaningful connections with other people. It's not about, this high-powered job and achieving financial stability. It's not going to make you happy. I mean, it can make you very secure and you can have a good life. But in terms of emotional fulfillment, you want to really cultivate these relationships, okay? So I feel like the ones in your 20s, you have a lot to learn from the ones in your 50s, who are in the 50s. So this would be a very interesting day if these groups get together and have some type of a mental exchange, because I feel like for a lot of you, you might need a mentor. You might need to, like, have a chat with someone who is, if you're in your 20s, have a chat with one in their 50s. They're going to put things into perspective for you. And likewise, if you're in your 50s, maybe hearing somebody from a younger generation and hearing what they're struggling with and hearing about, what they think about life, and will clear up some of these answers for you, because I feel honestly the energy for this month is not difficult at all. It is mainly about mental, philosophical outlooks, and it is more of an existential crisis where you feel like, where do I fit in the greater scheme of things? What do I want my life to look like? This is like you're going through the progression of your life and you're thinking to yourself, when I'm 40, what do I want my life to look like? When I'm 50, what do I want my life to look like? And it seems like you're putting also a lot of pressure on yourself, but the thing is, you don't want to get it wrong. You don't want to make any type of a misstep, and you don't want missed opportunities. So I do feel, that's the only danger here, but a lot of success is coming through for you, a lot of financial stability for sure. And for a lot of you who might be somewhat in, the public eye, in the limelight, you're getting, don't shy away from saying or conveying the message that you need to. Because I feel like for a lot of you, you might be in the public environment, in the public sphere, either giving some type of presentation or even, but I feel like you are afraid of criticism. Yeah, you are afraid of criticism. So you're trying to see, how do I spin this so that I can avoid the criticism? Well, if you're in the limelight, you are always going to have people who are in opposition to what you have to say. It's just the nature of human beings. Some people want to be, on the contrary, and they just make things difficult. But I feel like you're shying away from it, and the best thing to do is stand firm in your conviction. If if you feel what you say has validity and has value, it needs to be heard. And everyone is entitled to their opinion. So don't shy away from it. Be courageous and just, try to get the message across in the way that you know how. Because I feel like for a lot of you, you have credentials and expertise under your belt. And whatever the message is, if it comes from you, it will have a huge impact, okay? So whatever the message is, you want to go ahead with it. I feel like for some of you too, on the academic setting, on the publishing end, when it deals with books or, in academia or in publishing, I feel like there's some sort of dissatisfaction here. So, fix it. Whatever it is, if you feel like you can make it better, don't sit around and pine over it. Just, get going and try to fix it so that I feel like a lot of people around you are wanting to help you as well. So if you are facing time constraints and there's something that you want to revise, there's something you want to improve, there's something you want to make better, and you know how to make it better, but you're kind of like afraid, slip in an anonymous tip and try to get the project started. So if the project belongs to somebody else and you feel like they're kind of off track and it can be done in a better way, speak up and don't shy away from it, okay? Because I feel that for a lot of you, like I said, I feel like a lot of Capricorns, earth signs in general, you earth signs, you know what you're doing, and when you do something, it has longevity and it has stability. So I feel that if there is something that you feel can be improved upon, speak up and, try to get your voice heard, okay? So Capricorns is not a bad month at all, and it's a high power month. It's all about achievements and decisions, okay? So execute, execute, execute. Don't wait too long. Things are coming in abundance. Don't doubt yourself. Um, get a mentor for a lot of you. Speak to somebody who is of a different generation. Like if there's a 10-year or more gap between you and another person, get a mentor. I feel like a lot of you are facing some type of inner turmoil, and you need to externalize this inner turmoil. A lot of you are very, very self-sufficient and independent, and you feel as if, whatever problem life throws at us, we handle it on our own. This is not about handling things on your own. This is more about getting proper guidance so that you're not wasting your energy, okay? This is about the universe wanting you to do things in a more proactive manner, and you don't want to just charge full speed ahead without a sense of direction. So get a mentor, speak to like a teacher, professor, um, an uncle, somebody that has, that 10-15 year gap. They can give you a lot of guidance. Usually I tell people, like, if you can get somebody that is like at least 7 years older or like 14 years older, because then the Saturn transit, usually it lasts for like 7-8 years or 9 years in some cases, depending on where you're born and depending on if it goes retrograde. But that age gap will allow that age gap will actually, what it does is that it allows some opposition to happen between your chart and the other person's chart, where they can give you a very, very different perspective from the angle that you're looking at the world. So oppositions are good because our polar opposites, they give us new insights, and you're going to have like basically insights from the other side of the coin, someone who is very, very different from you. So I aim for mentors that are at least like 14 years in age. 10 years is good. 10 years is good, but I do feel that it would be in your best interest to get a mentor for this month, okay? Aside from that, I don't feel there are challenges. I don't sense that this is a challenging month. It's just, the inertia. So get going, okay? For those of you who are traveling, I don't feel any delays either. I do feel that, let me see here. Travel opportunities need to be just, plan out better. So avoid planning things in Mercury in retrograde next time. And that happened last month. So just avoid planning trips and things like that in Mercury retrograde, major. So I do feel it is going to be a very good month, Capricorns. If you like a private reading, please visit my webpage where you can book an appointment for yourself and, schedule yourself in. If you have other questions, email me at temperatestar@gmail.com.